Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
This sounds like the kind of thing a 15-year-old would dream about, but when you really think about it, it raises some serious questions. What exactly was going on between a teenage Justin Bieber and one of the most influential figures in the music industry, Diddy? Why did they spend 2 whole days together? And more importantly, why the secrecy? Why couldn't they talk about what they were doing? The deeper you dig, the stranger it all becomes. Diddy isn't new to controversy. Far from it. His name has been linked to numerous scandals, lawsuits, and shocking allegations in recent years. People have picked apart his ties to A-list celebrities, but one connection that's flown under the radar is his curious relationship with a young Justin Bieber. Bieber, now a global superstar, was thrust into the limelight as a teen. His journey started back in February 2008, when talent manager Scooter Braun stumbled upon him on YouTube. Just 13 years old and already turning heads.
And I know this much is true, baby, you have become my addiction. I'm so strung out on you, baby, you.
Scooter Braun, a titan of the music business, took a risk when he brought 14-year-old Justin Bieber to Atlanta after noticing something genuinely unique in his voice and magnetism. At that point, Justin encountered R&B icon Usher, and fate intervened. Not only was the meeting unforgettable, but it also changed people's lives. Usher and Braun were certain they had found the next big thing, so they teamed up to start a joint venture record label. Suddenly, Justin Bieber was signed.
And he's always kidding around as he is right now. And that was the beginning of history. Is that right?
What? Yeah. Yes.
Usher and Justin Bieber became close really fast. Justin was mentored by Usher, who helped steer his career as he went from being an internet sensation to a worldwide celebrity. At a very young age, Justin Bieber's career took off, selling out stadiums, reaching the top of the charts, and making him one of the biggest pop sensations in the world by the year 2010. Although most people are aware of his quick ascent, what is frequently forgotten is the group of people he spent those formative years with, which is where Diddy enters the picture. You see, Justin Bieber's music career was closely related to the majority of the adults in his immediate vicinity at the time. For instance, Usher was more than simply a mentor. He helped Bieber go from being a viral sensation to a polished artist by providing him with a roadmap for navigating the business. However, things were a little different with regard to Diddy's involvement. Unlike Usher, who taught Justin Bieber musically, Diddy took a strong interest in Bieber as soon as he learned about him. Diddy appeared a bit too fascinated. The music wasn't the only thing. It had to do with influence, access, and something else that didn't exactly fit the description of a standard cosign in the industry. To add even more intrigue, Diddy promised Bieber a white Lamborghini Aventador, something that most 15-year-olds could only imagine.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you yeah, it's gonna be yours. So every time you come in LA, it's a little dusty, but you know.
Diddy was promoting his album Last Train to Paris at the time of this video. The record was a collaboration with his musical trio, Dirty Money, which consisted of Don Richard, Kalina Harper, and Diddy. Many others thought Diddy's involvement in Justin was merely a promotional ploy to identify himself with the newest, sexiest celebrity in order to stay relevant, since Justin was at the time quickly becoming well-known. This is where things start to get interesting, though. Diddy had already taken a teenage singer under his wing. As a teenager in the 1990s, Usher actually lived with Diddy in New York to gain experience in the music industry.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Years had passed, but it felt like deja vu. History was unfolding all over again. Only this time, the rising teenage sensation wasn't Usher or Bow Wow. It was Justin Bieber. By early 2010, a pattern was emerging. Diddy and Justin were suddenly popping up side by side at all the major music industry events. Red carpets, backstage lounges, VIP sections. The public started to take notice. At first, their connection didn't raise too many eyebrows. Diddy casually brushed it off, calling it a simple friendship. Nothing more, nothing less. But then, about a year later, things took an interesting turn. The two were spotted inside a recording studio, and Diddy, on camera, pressed Justin about why he hadn't been in touch. It was a strange moment. After all, this wasn't just anyone calling Bieber out. It was one of the most powerful men in hip-hop, questioning why a teenage pop star had gone silent on him. And it wasn't just any time in Justin's life. This was during the height of his early fame, when he was practically untouchable. So why was Diddy so invested?
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you tried to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
But Diddy's connection with Justin Bieber wasn't just about showing face at events or boosting his image. This wasn't some surface-level endorsement of the next big thing. Diddy was pulling Justin deep into his inner circle, treating him like more than just an up-and-coming star. He made it crystal clear to the world. Their bond was personal, and it meant something real to him.
Industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Diddy openly applauded Bieber in a 2011 appearance with Jimmy Kimmel, but his remarks left many with more concerns than answers. Justin was publicly praised by Diddy as one of the best children you would ever meet. What did he intend by that, though? Only P. Diddy was aware, though. When Bieber was still a teenager, Diddy joked in this 2011 interview with Jimmy Kimmel that they didn't talk about their behind-the-scenes TV work together. That wasn't all, though. In addition, he said that Bieber had access to his home, which begs even more questions now.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
All in the moment was laughter. Looking back, though, some have begun to wonder what Diddy truly intended. Justin Bieber and Diddy were spotted together increasingly as their bond developed. Then, in 2015, at the age of 21, Diddy allegedly offered Bieber his first taste of alcohol, an incident captured on tape.
You're 21, man. 21 and we're having our first shot. Justin Bieber's first shot ever. Do not believe anything. Come and have a drink with your big. You can't make it around.
A year later, in March 2016, Diddy was still staying close to Justin. Diddy handed Bieber a Bad Boy Entertainment jacket in a released video from his 20th birthday. Justin kinda looked out of it, but he still grinned as he accepted a present. In 2020, Justin Bieber sat down for a candid and emotional conversation with Zane Lowe. He opened up about everything: his past self, destructive conduct, the pressures of fame, and how his life has improved since marrying Hailey Baldwin. But one moment in particular in this interview stood out. At one point, Justin Bieber broke down in tears talking about safeguarding Billie Eilish. He reflected how hard it was being young in the music industry, how others pretended to love him, just to turn their backs in an instant. He didn't want Billie Eilish to go through what he did. He wanted to be there for her to make sure she didn't lose herself the way he almost did.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn. And
Justin was well aware of what it was like to be young, well-known, and surrounded by influential individuals. He witnessed directly how, for better or worse, certain connections in the sector may influence your destiny. Years later, he was reflecting on his own experience and wishing that Billie Eilish wouldn't find himself in similar circumstances.
people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
It was an eye-opening moment. Ever since he was a child, Justin has been surrounded by grown-ups, notably P. Diddy, due to his fame. Perhaps this was how he quietly revealed that something had happened to him. Perhaps he was protecting Billie Eilish in this case to prevent history from happening again. Justin released a song called Lonely in the same year. He considered the negative aspects of growing up in the spotlight in his song, how the industry watched him struggle without intervening, how his failures were made public, and how celebrity separated him. My house was always built of glass, so everyone is aware of my background now. Perhaps that's the cost of having money and celebrity at such a young age, and it seemed like no one cared when they saw me ill. They chastised me for my foolish childhood actions. Was Justin talking about the demands of celebrity in general? You would have to judge if he was referring to anything or someone from his past. Then Diddy was arrested. The whole industry was taken aback. Diddy's actions had long been the subject of rumors, accusations, and private discussions. However, the feds caught him this time. Because of his close friendship with Diddy, Justin Bieber was one of the people many expected to speak out, but he remained mute. Reports that have not been substantiated claim that Justin has avoided Diddy ever since his imprisonment. He's even been told to keep as far away as possible. According to one insider, Bieber apparently doesn't want anything to do with Diddy, despite their past relationship. Even though these reports haven't been verified, it wouldn't be shocking. Justin has been concentrating on his family, his newborn son, and his personal life despite everything else. However, insiders claim that he has found it difficult to comprehend this. He seemed to be making every effort to distance himself from his complicated past with Diddy. And the question is, did Justin get hurt by P. Diddy? What precisely did he do if so? Since we can never really know from the outside looking in, the entire discussion is obviously speculative. However, we do know that numerous adults in the music industry have mistreated Justin Bieber. He has had innumerable instances throughout the years where influential people have said and done dubious things to him when he was a child. The majority of people aren't even aware of the rare cases in which well-known persons have genuinely essayed Justin. Why is it worse? Some of these, however, were captured on video. During his interview with James Corden, he had an inappropriate talk. Of them, two stood out.
Can I say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is utterly repulsive and improper to watch an adult man make suggestive comments to a 16-year-old. In the second instance, Jenny McCarthy, an actress, actually, essayed Justin Bieber live on TV. This occurred at the American Music Awards in 2012. She approached him from behind, took hold of his neck, kissed him, and even gripped his butt. This raises the question of how she and numerous other adults managed to get away with the trash they did to Justin. Since the entertainment industry has always been a devilish world, it wouldn't be too strange. This is made worse by the fact that McCarthy acknowledged what she did when questioned about it in an interview. She even made a joke about referring to it as cougar grape.
How have you been enjoying the night so far?
Great. I just got to neck Justin Bieber and grab his butt. I want some Bieber fever, and I want a Bieber rash.
Want it all.
It'd be like cougar rape.
Honestly, it still blows my mind how so many adults around Justin Bieber just looked the other way. He was just a kid, barely even a teenager, and yet the way he was treated was anything but protective or nurturing. The stuff Justin had to deal with behind the scenes, it's heavy. And when you put all the pieces together, it starts to explain a lot about how he's acted over the years. Because think about it. Some of the wild behavior people criticized him for. What if that wasn't just some spoiled celebrity antics? What if it was trauma bubbling to the surface, the kind that never got a chance to heal? That's just my take, but it's one I keep coming back to. Justin has always been painted as the villain in his own story. When he lost his temper, when he acted out, when he seemed completely out of control, everyone was quick to judge. The media had a field day every single time. Every little misstep was blasted across headlines. Every meltdown was dismissed as arrogance or fame going to his head. But maybe the truth runs deeper. What if Justin wasn't this entitled pop star people made him out to be? What if he was just a broken kid? Someone who had fame forced on him before he ever had a chance to figure out who he really was? Honestly, that's not a stretch. If you zoom out and really look at the big picture, you start to see it. It's not just a story of fame, it's a story of exploitation. Justin wasn't being rebellious for fun. He was a teenager surrounded by powerful adults, many of whom didn't seem to have his well-being in mind at all. And that leads us to Diddy. From the jump, Diddy seemed to take a particular liking to Justin. He gave him lavish gifts. There was that infamous 48-hour mentorship. At the time, it looked like an industry blessing, a superstar passing the torch. But now looking back, was that really all it was? Or was something else going on behind the curtain? Fast forward a few years, and we see a very different Justin. There he is in an emotional interview, breaking down as he talks about wanting to shield Billie Eilish from the same pain he went through. And now, with Diddy's recent arrest grabbing headlines, Justin has gone completely silent. No statements, no comments, just distance. And you know what? That silence says everything. Whatever went on behind closed doors, Justin clearly wants no connection to it anymore. We might never know the full story. Some things may stay hidden forever. But one thing's crystal clear. Justin's journey to stardom wasn't all glitz and glamour. It was darker, messier, and maybe even dangerous. And when you really connect the dots, his refusal to speak out on Diddy, that silence might be the loudest statement he's ever made.